37th parallel on America's haunted highway. It's Pixelated Paranormal, your guide to the unusual and the strange.
Are we back? Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Pixelated Paranormal. This is episode 347. And if you don't watch us and instead you listen to the podcast audio, you're probably wondering where the hell is episode 346? And the answer is I totally forgot to edit 346. So we'll drop that here sometime soon for you. Anyway, I am Sean, and with me, as always, is the man whose mustache fell off, Preston.
What's up, all you cool ghosts and goblins, you crocodoons and crocodingos, you skeletors and skelets and witchers and witches. I'm going to take everybody to sweet, sweet Pound Town tonight, talking like Barry Manilow because I'm sick.
Two things. I like how I was like, hey man, make sure you get a good distance from your mic because your voice is a little more baritone because you're sick, and you just had to deep throat it again. But two, how can you not try to talk sexy when you have a cold and your voice is just really, really, really deep because that shit's down in your vocal cords?
Was I popping the mic? Because I feel like I'm not even. I feel like I'm not even talking that loud.
You're probably not. It just comes across louder because, you know, we both have deeper voices, and I think when you get sick and it gets down there around those bronchial tubes, that sounds smart, right? It probably just gets a little louder. But yeah, you're fine, baby. You know, you're fine. We're going to make it work.
You're good, baby.
Sure, you know, blowing out car speakers and shit. But yeah, sorry for the delay, guys. Presto and I were traveling for work and blah, blah, blah. Insert excuse here. But it's okay because just in time for St. Patty's Day, we're back once again with another fantastical tale of diminutive creatures. But fear not, dear listener, no, this is not Thieves of the Night Part 5, although maybe it should be. No, tonight we're going to share the legend of the moon-eyed people of Appalachia. So grab a pint of your favorite beverage, whether it be a stout or a chocolate milk, and get cozy, because we're going to take you on a little ride. But first, how about a little news? And let me just double check the audio here. Sweet, how's that for live TV? Okay, we sound great, man. So let's clear our throats and get into it. Advocates in Mexico are calling for an immediate and independent investigation after the discovery of what they're describing as an extermination camp in Jalisco that cartels allegedly may have been using for missing persons. Warrior Searches of Jalisco, a group of dedicated people who are trying to locate and find disappeared people, said they discovered a site last week at a ranch believed to have been a criminal group's center of operations where they presumably took the disappeared to be recruited and trained against their will. The organization found at least 3 crematoriums with incinerated skeleton remains hidden under a layer of earth and brick slab. The group said they also found dozens of shoes, backpacks, IDs, and other personal items, including also found dozens of personal items such as clothing, hundreds of pairs of shoes, backpacks, and IDs, and lists of names and nicknames. Indira Navarro, a representative of Warrior Searchers, said that the existence of these types of forced recruitment and extermination centers were an open secret, but they had never seen one until March 5th, when the group she leads managed to enter a ranch located near, let's butcher this one, Teochitlán. They said they learned of the I like how you gave me that little nod of approval. They said they learned of the existence and location of this site through an anonymous tip. The Jalisco Attorney General's office said in a statement that the ranch was originally discovered back in September of 2024 during an operation carried out by the National Guard with a 10-person, Jesus, if I can only read, in which 10 people had been arrested, 2 kidnapped people were released, and 1 person was found dead. Their initial search of the ranch in September said they also discovered weapons, vests, and bullets, and 2 batches of thermally exposed skeletal remains. But at the time, they failed to detect other remains that were found last week because the cartels had hidden them in different underground spaces beneath brick slabs, a method previously unused by the criminal group. A collective of human rights organizations and relatives of the disappeared suggests that local authorities may have covered up the existence of this extermination camp. It's impossible to accept this mega extermination camp operated without the complicity of authorities or security forces. When reached for comment by CNN, a spokesperson for the Jalisco Attorney General's office said the agency doesn't issue opinions on statements made by actors from any sphere of society. Anyway, in a separate statement, the office said the state prosecutor has been reviewing what happened and has thoroughly looked at the site for inspection at the time in order to determine whether any field procedures were neglected by the personnel then assigned during the previous administration. As recently as Tuesday, several experts from the Jalisco Attorney General's office were working at the site recovering evidence. Mexico's Attorney General Alejandro Gertz Manero reinforced the idea of a possible cover-up on Tuesday, saying it's not credible that the situation of this nature could not have been known by local authorities of that municipality in the state. Fuck, man, that's really fucking horrible stuff. You guys can look this up. The article goes on, but yeah, apparently back in September 2024, during an operation carried out by the National Guard, 10 people were arrested, 2 kidnapped people were released, and 1 person was found dead. Good golly, Miss Molly. Now, Preston, let's switch gears here, right? Did you ever watch much of Ghost Hunters back when it was on like the History Channel or Travel Channel or whatever?
Like here and there, yeah.
Zach Bagans come at me, bro. That kind of stuff,
dude. Like they're on is it Hulu? He's got like a new show. Like I thought they were done when I was on Hulu the other day, and the fucker's still on there. But basically now he Zoom calls everybody. So Aaron, the other guy, and this chick will go to the house and then carry out the interview and the investigation while Zach does like the Zoom call from the command center, and he's still a douchebag. Like, so it's so hard to watch. So hard to watch.
Yeah, Shayla and I used to watch it quite a bit when it first came out because it was really good TV, you know? It was fun. It was right back when like those ghost hunting shows were kind of in their prime. But sadly, the original trio did separate later on, you know, years later. And one of them came forward. It wasn't Zach or Aaron, but it's the other guy. And I think he came forward and actually made a statement saying that initially they found a lot of interesting stuff on camera. But as the seasons progressed, you know, the producer and Travel Channel or History Channel or whoever it was started threatening them that if they couldn't find more quote unquote evidence, then they'd have to cancel the show. So apparently you had a lot of people who were, you know, working on the production, throwing 2x4s down hallways, knocking on doors, doing all sorts of weird shit. What was that?
Aaron, yeah. Aaron, did you hear that? Aaron, bro, no way, Jesus. Bro.
Well, no one could have prepared them for what was about to happen back in October. Nope. Hold on, I skipped that part. Back on Wednesday of last week. Nope. Jesus, what in the world did I do here, guys? Hold on a second.
I think you typed. I think you typed in the story, copied and pasted it twice.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Here we go. The wife of Ghost Adventures star Aaron Goodwin was arrested last week on allegations that she was plotting to have him assassinated, according to a police report. Authorities caught up on what they were alleged were Victoria Goodwin's plans after they obtained a phone of a Florida inmate named Grant Amato from back in October, according to a Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department report. Amato, who's 35, was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison back in 2019. Anyway, Amato's phone contained a text and a Facebook message between him and the reality star's wife, which indicated that the pair were in love and tried to pay to have Aaron Goodwin killed. Victoria Goodwin, 32 years old, was being held in the Clark County Detention Center on charges of solicitation to commit murder and conspiracy murder. It was not immediately clear whether Amato has an attorney or could speak on his behalf. The police report said that back on October 2nd, Amato and Victoria Goodwin discussed setting aside a total sum of $11,515 to hire a third party, whose name has been redacted in the report, to complete the hit job. The same day, they also discussed Aaron Goodwin's location, the make of his car, and where he'd be. Let's see here. In one text message, she said, "I just can't believe it's happening. Like, how did I get to this point? Am I a bad person?" Well, spoiler alert, yeah. In response, Amato asked why she thinks that, and she replies, "Because I chose to end his existence, not divorce." Then on October 3rd, the report says that Amato contacted the alleged hitman and said he would call Aaron Goodwin to distract him. Later that day, Amato texted the alleged hitman to ask whether he had completed the killing. He said, "I need to know what's going on. Can I get an update? Was it done?" The same day, Florida corrections officers obtained Amato's phone. Its contents were searched at an unspecified date, and on March 4th, a report was released by officials in Florida who contacted authorities in Nevada, where Aaron and Victoria Goodwin live, to alert them about the alleged plot. When Victoria Goodwin was arrested and taken in for questioning 2 days later, she said that she and her husband were going through problems in their marriage, but denied wanting to have him killed. The report said she admitted seeing some of the messages between her and Amato, but it also said she didn't remember all of them. Aaron Goodwin couldn't immediately be reached for comment. But anyway, since 2008, Goodwin, who's 48, has starred on Ghost Adventures, which follows him and 3 other people as they investigate paranormal activity. The hit reality series aired for 19 seasons on Travel Channel before it moved to Discovery back in 2021. Aaron and Victoria Goodwin appear to have been married back in August of 2022, according to an Instagram post. In the weeks leading up to Victoria Goodwin's arrest, the couple shared a loving photograph of each other on social media, and then back on Valentine's Day, she even posted a selfie with her husband on Instagram, captioning, "Mini golf with my Valentine," to which Aaron replied, "I love you, even though you crushed me in mini golf." And then blah, 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 so on and so forth. They appeared to be happy way after the alleged hit. Anyway, Victoria Goodwin's next court appearance is scheduled for March 25th in Clark County. Bail was set at $100,000.
Fuck 'em.
Holy shit, man. Divorce always seems to be a little easier than trying to have your spouse murdered.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just steamroll right into it, buddy? I don't think there's any real segue there. Here we go. Imagine this, dear listener. It's late at night, and as you lay your head down to surrender to slumber's sweet embrace, you're suddenly stirred by the sound of what seems to be a collective of voices who are whispering to each other as their tiny footsteps traipse past your bedroom window. You slowly slink your way out from under your covers and crawl to your window, just in time to see what looks to be 10, no, 20? Or perhaps it's just a trick of the light, but to your amazement, you see what could be as many as 100 diminutive, pale-skinned men occupying your yard, slowly meandering towards the fields of corn. You press your face to the glass of your bedroom window, not really sure what you're seeing, but just then, one of these funny little men stops and slowly turns his head towards you. And then you see them. The large, blue, crescent-shaped eyes, softly illuminated by the moonlight, shining like a cat's eye.
Moon-eyed girl, something.
Oh, you ruined the mood. But something seems off about this little man's face. It's pale, just like the moon itself, but also flat like a solid paved surface, with a long, soft beard wallowing down towards its belly. You drop down, your breath catches in your throat. You steady your thundering heart, and when you finally get the courage to return, you bolt up and press your face once again to the cool surface of your bedroom window, just in time to see the last of the small army of lunar visitors disappearing through your corn stalks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, goblins of all ages, let's get into the moon-eyed people of Appalachia.
Yeah. So, what inspired me to write this is my wife, who's no longer on Facebook because society sucks, is migrated over to Instagram, and she's been getting in her feed all these videos about the mimics of Appalachia. And so I'm like, we haven't covered the mimics of Appalachia on the show before, but it's really hard. It's really hard to pinpoint down actual, like, if you Google search the mimics of Appalachia, you really don't get anything. And there's not really eyewitness account stories, but there's just tons of this shit popping up on Facebook, or not Facebook, of Instagram, of somebody will see a dog, like a black dog with a white spot, barking at their glass door to their backyard. They're like, go let Terry in. And then the husband's like, dude, Terry's right here. And the camera pans around. And this is the same fucking dog in the house. And so then the person who's narrating the video is like, well, see, this is what they do all the time, folks. The mimics of Appalachia will a lot of times take on the form of a beloved pet so they can gain entrance into your house. And so these videos are popping up all over the place. And I'm thinking well, there's this Bigfoot-like creature that mimics voices and has glowing eyes that we haven't covered yet. But then there was this story about these little diminutive glowing people called the moon-eyed people that just disappeared one day. And I'm like, could this also be part of what's causing the mimic reports? And that's what led me down this rabbit hole of the moon-eyed people. Because there's all these whispers of ancient civilizations and settlements that echo throughout the ages, weaving tapestries of mystery that captivates the imagination. What's that in New Mexico, up in the mountains, the Pueblo Indians, where they have all those settlements, and then out of nowhere they just they disappeared. The Roanoke Island people just disappeared overnight. What happened? You have fabled tales from the height of the Incan Empire in South America. Chaco Canyon, the haunting ruins of Chaco Canyon. That's what I was thinking about, in the heart of New Mexico. And then just tales of those who vanished in the mist of time continue to intrigue, the seekers of truth, like me. I come across a good mystery, and I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck happened? But amidst the rolling hills of North Carolina lies a well-known yet shrouded mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke. However, nestling quietly in the shadows of the Appalachian Mountains is a lesser-known tale that may eclipse even the coastal English settlers in its mystique. It's the moon-eyed people. Their origins remain a puzzle, cloaked in the fog of uncertainty, and whether they walk this earth is a question that lingers like a whisper in the night. Long before the mighty Cherokee laid claim to the fertile valleys and shadowed forests of the Appalachian Mountain, whispers of strange, outwardly beings drifted through the ancient woods. Imagine a hidden people, cloaked in pale, ghostly skin that shimmered beneath the moon's glow, their eyes vast and reflective, able to see clearly in the veil of night, yet faltering in the harsh light of day.
You want me to share some of this with you? Because I didn't actually separate this up, but I'll share the burden. I'll be your Samwise Gamgee.
Be my Sam.
Yeah, known only as the Moon-Eyed People, these figures dwelled in fortified stone strongholds, nestled deep within the wilderness, moving silently through the shadows, vanishing before the golden rays of dawn. To the Cherokee, they were not fierce warriors, but quiet, reclusive beings, peaceful, yet undeniably peculiar, as if visitors from a realm beyond this world. Though they left behind no written record of their existence, their presence lingers on in legend with only the enigmatic ruins of their stone fortress, marking where they once walked beneath the gilding light of the sun.
Who are these moon-eyed bastards? Were they spirits, as some Cherokee elders speculated? Were they survivors of a forgotten civilization? Are they fucking aliens? Forced to adapt to the harsh mountain environment? Kind of like, what are those little bastards from China that they found in the mountains? Like the little tiny skeletons, and they had the metal record, like the Dogo, the Bogo, the Bogon.
Oh, damn. It's been a while. I don't remember. Exactly,
Yeah,
but I know what you're talking about.
I think we're starting to match up A, B, and C and get into D. Their story is one of whispers and shadows, a tantalizing glimpse into a world that exists just beyond the veil of the known, hinting at the possibility that some secrets are meant to be forever hidden. In the early 1100s, as the Cherokees ventured into the serene embrace of the southern Appalachians, their legends spoke of a peculiar race that inhabited these lands long before them, recounts Billy Ray Palmer of the Cherokee County Historical Museum. They described beings who were diminutive with chunky frames, alabaster skin, and unsettling bright blue eyes, and countenance that elected fear and wonder. These nocturnal figures emerged under the veil of darkness, thus they were named the Moon-Eyed People. Murmurs of these Moon-Eyed People cast a long shadow over western North Carolina, suggesting a lineage of cave dwellers that predate even the earliest English and Spanish explorers. Their appearance characterized by short stature, golden hair that shimmered like the moonlight, and beards that framed their ethereal faces that seemed almost outwardly. Tales speak of their aversion to the sun, rendering them ghostly wanderers of the night, forever searching for solace in the dim light of the moon. Yet the origins of these spectral figures remain elusive, intertwining them with ancient man-made stone structures scattered throughout the southern landscape, hinting at a presence that may have migrated long before recorded history. Curiously, the earliest known English settlements emerged under the harsh scrutiny of history in 1587 at Roanoke, and again at 1607 at Jamestown. So this begs the pressing question, who were these pale, mysterious beings that slipped through the cracks of time?
Did you ever watch the old black and white Superman TV show?
No.
There was this old episode from 1951 called Superman and the Mole Men. And if I had to tell you the earliest memory I've had about being terrified by something I saw on TV or a movie, anybody listening or watching, just go to Google and look up Superman and the Mole Men and just look at the still photos, or, jump on YouTube and see if you can find like video of this. They were these short little bald guys with kind of like a ring of hair around their head.
Yeah.
And they were sneaking around with this big laser gun, and it terrified the ever-loving shit out of me when I was like 6 or 7. And I look at the pictures just now, and I go back to that day where I was fucking petrified watching that with my grandma when she was babysitting us. But I digress. In the early 1400s, or perhaps even earlier, before Columbus set sail for his fateful voyages, there were whispers of 14 ships that departed from Wales. These ships vanished without a trace, lost to the dark embrace of the sea. Yet speculation swirls like mist in the moonlight. Could this be that these vessels found their way to a new world and forged their own destiny? One of the key theories examined is a possibility that the Moon-Eyed People were descendants of Welsh explorer Prince Madoc, who allegedly reached the Americas back in the 12th century. Prince Madoc was the illegitimate son of a Welsh king, and after a civil war broke out, he sailed west in 1171, but was never heard from again.
Dun, dun, dun. Centuries later, there are accounts of other European explorers encountering light-skinned Welsh-speaking tribes in the Americas. For example, in the 1660s, a Welsh minister named Morgan Jones claimed he was captured by a tribe in South Carolina that spoke Welsh. Another sailor named Stedman reported encountering a similar light-skinned Welsh-speaking tribe between Alabama and Florida. In the 19th century, the governor of Virginia financed an expedition to search for these Welsh Indians. Even Lewis and Clark were exploring the Louisiana Purchase. Even when Lewis and Clark, Jesus Christ, I can't read tonight. Anyways, when those fuckers are doing their thing, they were specifically instructed to keep an eye out for Welsh tribes. Additionally, the similarities between the stone structures attributed to the Moonite people and runes found in Wales suggest that they may have been built using similar methods.
Then in 1803, Thomas Jefferson, while formulating the Indian policy for the United States, alluded to these figures, a nod to the legends that linger still, like shadows in the twilight. According to studies, the Kuna tribe of Panama has the highest rate of albinism of any community in the world. Let's say 1 out of every 145 Kuna births result in an albino individual. This is 130 times the typical rate of albinism. Other Native American tribes such as the Hopi, the Zuni, the Jimenez, the San Juan, and the Laguna tribes also see albinism occurring in 100 times the normal global rate. So are these guys albinos?
What, the Moonite people?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're so pale skinned, being out in night, they couldn't handle the daylight, that their skin was very pale. And in some cases, it was reported that it was so pale that it was almost translucent, and you could see like the veins and like everything else running underneath of them.
Ugh.
Yeah. In Kuna mythology, these albino individuals were given a special significance as their light eyes and skin color made them very sensitive to light. They were seen as children of the moon and tasked with defending the moon against those who would try to destroy it. These high rates of albinism in Native American populations could potentially be linked to the Moonite people, the mysterious light-skinned, blue-eyed race, and these albino Native Americans may be the descendants of the Moonite people, which is why their distinctive physical traits keep appearing in these tribes. Let's look at Fort Mountain, a prominent peak in the state of Georgia located 2,850 feet above sea level. From its summit, hikers are offered a commanding view of the Appalachian mountain range, but it is this mountain's mysterious stone wall that has captivated visitors and archaeologists for centuries. This low serpentine stone barricade stretches 855 feet across the mountain's summit, leading to much speculation about the origins and purpose. Contemporary archaeologists attribute the wall's construction to indigenous builders of the Middle Woodland era, suggesting it may have served as some ritualistic function, perhaps tracing the passage of the sun like the famous Certain Mound in Ohio. However, the exact reason for the wall's construction remains shrouded in mystery.
One persistent idea links the construction to the legendary Welsh colony founded centuries before Columbus, led by who else? Prince Madoc, who supposedly built a series of forts throughout the American Southeast. Another theory posits that the wall was erected by Spanish conquistador Hernando de Soto, though this is dismissed as a historical inaccuracy. Some believe these Moonite people were the true builders of the Fort Mountain Wall. Several theories draw parallels between the Moonite people and the fairies of European folklore, noting their similarities in terms of physical description, nocturnal habitats, and the association with ancient monuments. Further evidence of this mysterious race emerges in the form of an ancient soapstone statue discovered in the 19th century in the nearby town of Murphy, North Carolina, depicting two figures with large, unsettling heads. The statue has sparked speculation that it represents the Moonite people or even extraterrestrials.
I'm going to take us home. Thus, the legend of the Moonite people endures, a haunting riddle wrapped in the fog of myth and encrypted within the stories of those who came before. Their tales persist as an echo of a bygone era, lurking just beyond the veil of what is known, inviting the curious to delve deeper into the mysteries of time and existence.
So, what's interesting is I found something here that an article was written back in 1882 in the Native American newspaper, the Cherokee Phoenix, and it detailed the discovery of 3 burying grounds of extremely small-statured people. The longest skeleton was a mere 19 inches tall, and this was found near the Tennessee town of Sparta. Some of the individuals appeared to have adult teeth that were worn down with age, and several of the bodies interred in stone coffins were buried with items that may have been made from shells. There's no record of what happened to the remains, but the article is oftentimes mentioned by people who believe the Moon-Eyed people were really, truly, indeed real.
And if they truly didn't get wiped out by the Cherokee and they just went deeper into the mountains, could that not explain the mimics that people are experiencing today in the Appalachian Mountains?
Yeah.
Because that phenomenon is only experienced when, lay it on me, at night.
St. Patty's Day. Oh.
Oh.
Well, and something else too. According to Cherokee tradition, taught to the importance of respecting the Yunwi Sunsdi. When a hunter finds anything in the woods, such as a knife or a trinket, you have to say, "Little people, I want to take this," because it may belong to the Moon-Eyed people or other Fey folk. Because if you don't ask permission, it's said that they might stone you to death on your way home, or, change the trail a little bit so you get lost in order to delay you getting home or ultimately kill you.
And what's, always tying back to folklore, which is what we do a lot. What's fascinating for me is that people who grew up in the Appalachian Mountain area will recant that. I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother said, "Billy, don't you stay out past when the sun goes down, because them Moon-Eyed people, they gonna get you." And they're like, "Moon-Eyed people, what the fuck?" And so, it's folklore that maybe you or I are not familiar with because of where we're located centrally in the United States. But it is folklore that has persisted even to this day in that region, which, you think of, God, man, who was the lady that meditated and thought of a fat Buddha? And then
we both need to get her name tattooed on our forearms, because this comes up every once in a while when we had just long enough to forget about it. Go on, I'll take a look here.
So the reason why I bring that up is I always like to go back to the idea of tulpas, that maybe a lot of the folklore that gets created and persists throughout history, that ends up generating, because if the idea of a tulpa is you put enough energy and belief in it, it becomes physical in our reality. So the fact that you have this region that took over the belief from the native people and took that folklore and kind of wrapped it into their own history, which is now prevalent in modern day Appalachia, that because so many people's grandmother said, "Billy, don't you go outside at night because the Moon-Eyed people," that so many little kids believed in the Moon-Eyed people, that we have created these little teeny tiny tulpas of Moon-Eyed people through folklore. Bigfoot. How many times do you think, is it really Bigfoot? Or could it be the idea that because so many people believe in this elusive creature, that we as a culture are creating this mass tulpa, feeding into it, and that's what's causing this paranormal activity? That's where my mind likes to go. Call me Mulder.
Yeah, man. I mean, me too. We did an episode years ago about the Tikbalang of the Philippines, and I believe that was this horse-headed demon creature that would drag you into the woods and tickle you, or if you're traveling, through the woods from, one village to another or whatever, it would oftentimes disorient you, and you had to take your shirt off and turn it backwards, right?
And we know somebody who grew up in that actually had an encounter with the Tikbalang.
The Tikbalang. Yeah.
Sweet individual, and hands down, coming from her, 100% believe it. No bullshit coming from her.
Yeah, out of respect, we can't, say who it is, but it's, it's a really good friend of Preston and I's, and we have a lot of respect for her. She's a God-fearing Christian woman, no bullshit kind of person. And I brought it up to her one day in passing, and she's like, "Oh yeah, once when I was a little girl, I think it was her sister and her aunt, or her sister and her mom were walking through the woods and started getting a little disoriented and couldn't find their way home. And so their mom said, all right, take your shirts off, put them on backwards. And as soon as they did, the sickening kind of sensation went away from their stomachs, and they suddenly found their way back on the trail." And she said that's the old folklore. If you don't, mind your P's and Q's, this thing will basically force you to get lost and then drag you off into the night, tickling you until you die, basically. But tulpas, man, I think everything's a tulpa, right? You, me, Everything, all thought forms. And the answer to the question earlier is Alexandra David Neal. And let me just read you an excerpt here. When Alexandra David Neal journeyed throughout Tibet, one of the many mystical techniques she studied was that of tulpa creation. Now, a tulpa, according to traditional Tibetan doctrines, is an entity that's created as an act of imagination rather than the fictional characters of a novelist, except that tulpas are not written down. David Neal became so interested in the concept she decided to create one for herself. Now, the method involved was essentially intense concentration and visualization. Alexandra said that her tulpa began its existence as a plump, benign little monk, similar to Friar Tuck. It was at first entirely subjective, but gradually with practice, she'd be able to visualize the tulpa out there like another person, almost like an imaginary ghost at first flickering in and out of the world. In time, the vision would grow in clarity and substance until it was indistinguishable from a physical reality of sort, kind of like a self-induced hallucination. But the day finally came when the hallucination slipped from her conscious control. She discovered that the monk would then appear from time to time when she hadn't willed it into existence. Furthermore, her friendly little figure was slimming down and taking on a distinctly sinister aspect. Eventually, her companions, who were unaware of the mental discipline she was practicing, began to ask about the stranger who they would see turning up in their camp, a clear indication that a creature which was no more solidified imagination, had definitive objective reality. They started saying they'd see this thing walking through the village, sneaking around, going in and out of her hut that she was staying in. And at this point, David Neal decided things had gone too far and applied different Lamist techniques to reabsorb the creature into her own mind. The tulpa proved to be very unwilling to face destruction, and in a way, the process took itself several weeks and left the creator very exhausted. And a lot of people say that Santa Claus and everything else, folkloric is nothing more than a thought form, because if you get enough people to all think about a certain specific thing, who's to say that conscious collective couldn't give the energy to make this hallucination real? Kind of like the Philip Project, is that what it was?
Yeah.
In Canada? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oy vey, yeah.
And then that, what was it? The other one that's really popular is there's that plantation that has the spirit of the black slave that her name was Alice and she got hung by a tree, and there's this whole backstory. Come to find out that there was no Alice, no nothing. And so, but so many people actually believed the story, and they would do these historical tours of this plantation that everybody believed it. And so ghost hunters would go there and they're capture an EVP of Alice, and she was all mad. And then a historian went in and they're like, yeah, it's all bullshit. There was nobody named Alice, never happened. And they're like, oh, you guys created a tulpa. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, man. I think it's was that the Ghost of Alice flag of the Hermitage, South Carolina?
Yep.
Sweet. All right. Well, we came here with a half-hour episode, and we're leaving everybody with homework.
Yeah, man, look at that. We got on right at 10. I didn't think I was going to make it 27 minutes, to tell you the truth. I had to, shut my camera off, mute my mic, and blow my nose 4 times. But God damn it, every time we do this, it's so much fun to get back into the paranormal and do these stories. And then we get talking, and then before you know, we're an hour into it. The other night when we were playing D&D, our little fucking buddy from Farmers, Idaho, a little teenager kid, Tractor for Life, was on here, and he's like, I need to find a new podcast because D&D's dumb. All right, little dude, patience is a fucking virtue. So, you little fucker, if you just would have hung around for another night.
You're just attacking this child.
I know.
Good God.
Yeah.
Oy. Yeah, that's our fault. We took a little time off, and then took a little more time off, and then a little trip for work, and here we are getting back into it. So now I thought about something, man. This is episode 347. 346 was just kind of a throwaway news episode, but we're coming up on episode 350. would you be open to the idea of a listener and or watcher emailing us topics for the next 2 shows?
Yeah.
Think that'd be cool? Like, what is today? We're recording on Saturday the 15th. So if you're watching or listening, email us a topic that you would like us to tackle that you think we haven't covered before. And for the next 2 episodes, we'll pick those topics. If there's a bunch of little ones, maybe we'll just do a compilation. And then we'll cover some topics. Let you guys kind of choose that stuff for us, roulette style. And then maybe we'll do something special for 350. And then just beyond that, our 10th anniversary is coming up. And I got a whole slew of listener stories. But if you guys would like, send us your own personal paranormal stories or folklore you heard growing up, whatever, shoot those over. And you guys can all email us at pixelatedparanormal@gmail.com. You can shoot us PMs and DMs to our podcast pages. You can send those to us personally if you know us personally, whatever. Yeah, shoot us some more stories. I want to have a big blowout for 10 years because we kind of skipped over year 9. But
what the fuck happened during year 9, man?
A lot, dude. Life got real busy.
Did it? I don't even remember.
Yeah, you were there and you don't remember either. So cool.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything else, buddy? My voice cracked like I am a 15-year-old.
No, I mean, look, we're up to like 331 followers on YouTube. So,
Nice.
Listen, fuckers, share this shit. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're at 50 followers on Rumble. So listen, all you right-wing fucking conspiracy theorists, if you want to hear more conspiracy shit, fucking like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you're over on Kick or Twitch and you're like one of those fucking fake robot people that are like, hi, my name's Terry Mambuto, and I was just thinking to myself, God damn it, I love your content. Yeah, I love your content. It's the best goddamn content in the whole entire world. If you go ahead and donate to me $1,000 right now, I'm gonna fucking grow your show so big, so beautiful. If you're that person, fuck off and quit messaging me because I'm tired of reading those messages. No, I'm not gonna give you $1,000 of my fucking dollars for nothing. Fuck you, Terry Mambuto. I don't need your shit.
Yeah, I got to look into this here, man. We got an email back in February about Brandon, let's see here, from Brandon Morgan or about Brandon Morgan. And it says, hey, Team Pixelated Paranormal, in your recent deep dive into the chilling tale of Burke and Hare, the way you tied historical events to modern true crime was nothing captivating. Read details of the crimes and the peculiar after effects made for a gripping listen. And then they go on to say that I believe Brandon Morgan would be a superb guest on your show, the creator of The Devil Within. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. We get a lot of these things, and I ignore 98% of them. Then here's to show they don't really listen to the show. Hey, Sean, Preston, and Steven. Well, Steven's been AWOL because he has a little baby babushka to take care of now. I couldn't resist following up with your riveting episode on Burke and Hare. The way you unearthed the sinister partnership and connected it to the broader world of true crime kept me on the edge of my seat. Hey, I hope that's real. Sounds like AI. And then they gave me a third email, and I don't know, I might hit him back up, buddy. And then reflecting on the suspense-filled episode about Burke and Hare, I found the insights about their motives and dark nature of the crimes utterly fascinating. It added a layer of depth to your usual paranormal themes. Maybe this person really does listen to this show, but I don't think they do.
Yeah.
And if they do, hey, shoot us an email and say, yeah, I really fucking do listen, you fuckers. But, yeah, good shit anyway, guys.
Need a beard, want a beard.
I like it.
Are you missing a mustache? Are you tired of looking like a dollar store version of Abraham Lincoln? Well, do yourself a favor. Go over to bigdobsbeardbomb.com. Use promo code PXLPARA for 20% off your order. Pick yourself up some scents like Bay Rum, Fresh, Citrus, Mint, Classic, Sweet Tobacco. Lather that shit on what facial hair you have left, a.k.a. the Whaler, a.k.a. the Shenandoah, the Amish Gentleman.
Shenandoah, isn't that a country song or singer from like the fucking 80s?
No, it's not. It's called the beard style. Get the fuck with it. Look it up right now. The Shenandoah beard. Look it up. Google it. It's a thing. Anyways, use the fucking promo code PXLPARA for 20% off your order. And whatever style of beard that you're growing that you want, just make it look better, make it smell better. Get it all, get it at Dobbs. Lay it on daddy, was I right?
Shenandoah. Country music lovers talk about the greatest groups in the genre. Shenandoah is always at the forefront of any discussion. Damn, still touring apparently. Shenandoah the band. Let's look here. Let's see what some of their hits were.
Did you look up Shenandoah beard style? Because it's called the Shenandoah.
No, I didn't. I typed in Shenandoah country music band. You fucking heathen. They've been around since 1984. Shenandoah, Road Not Taken, Extra Mile. Dude, they got a bunch, man. The Church Come. Oh, yeah, dude. You know this song from 1989? The Church
Just a little
Road.
bit of magic.
Sunday in the South. If I had 24 roses next to you, next to me, if Bubba can dance, I can too. Fuck your non-mustache having self, buddy. One of the greatest bands from 1984.
Okay.
Shenandoah beard. Oh, this here says your shit's all fucked up and you're dumb. The hair is grown full and long over the jaw and chin, meeting the sideburns, while the hair above the mouth is shaved. All right, well, and then to further point out that we're both idiots, it's also a
whaler, which is what I said.
Nope. It's also a state park.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I have that concrete sign in Fallout 76, the Shenandoah National State Park. It's in my camp.
Oh shit, yeah. Shenandoah Park in Virginia.
Yeah.
Nice. Yep. No, I believe you, man. If you have the balls to shave your mustache off and keep your beard, I think you know what you're talking about, pal.
Yeah.
Won't stop me from chastising you. If you're in the Wichita area, stop by, see our friends over at CD Trade Post, Pawnee and Seneca. Pop and say hi to the lovely Leslie and the rest of the gang there. And also stop into paranormal.cafe. Grab yourself a coffee and a scone. All right, with that, I'm going to raise this empty glass and lick this candied orange and say cheers to the weird shit in the world. And those of us love to talk about it.
And I don't have a drink, but I'm still going to say stay spooky and stay on the paranormal highway.
I did lick that orange, by the way.
Ooh.
The cast at Pixelated Paranormal would like to thank you for listening to this week's episode. Pixelated Paranormal is here to tell you tales of the fantastical, the strange, the unknown. Tales that will move you a little further down the paranormal highway. If you'd like to share your own listener story, we would love to hear it. Email us at pixelatedparanormal@gmail.com. Again, that's pixelatedparanormal@gmail.com. We'd really love to hear from you. Again, thanks for listening to this week's episode of Pixelated Paranormal, your guide to the unusual and the strange.